What's up, guys? What's going on? It's your boy Sega Man back with another video, guys. And this is called Dreamcast Days. We're going to take a look from a blast from the past, man, of the Sega Dreamcast. I'm going to show you the Sega Dreamcast in its original box, guys. And I'm going to show you some of the games that don't even touch the surface of what I have and what I um, collect for the Sega Dreamcast games. These are just some. These don't even, like I said, this doesn't even touch my collection, but it's some of my favorite, and some of them are one of the most expensive games that I have, guys. So this is going to be not that long of a video, but guys, sit back and enjoy um, the video, man, about the Sega Dreamcast. Oh, and I want to let you guys know I'm not going to be doing the podcast this weekend. This is Easter weekend, so I'm not going to be doing any podcasts this weekend because I got to spend time with the family. But I think maybe Friday, we'll see. Maybe Friday because I'm off. I might be doing the Xbox Alpha podcast. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we'll see. I'm going to try to do it Friday, but this weekend, definitely not going to be doing any other podcasts, man, because it's, Easter weekend and it's time to spend time with the family. You know what I mean? So I'll be with them. But let's get to it, guys. So I'm going to show you guys the original Dreamcast in its original box. That is the original Dreamcast, guys. That's what it looks like at day one launch when you got the Dreamcast. It came in a box like this. As you can see, the box is still in pristine condition. It might have a little bit of wear and tear around it, but I like to take care of my systems that I collect for and keep the original box in its entirety. And this is it right here, guys. Not a lot to see cosmetically of the design of the box, but it's kind of cool for when the Dreamcast came out back in those days. You know what I mean? It shows you on the side some of the games that came out with it, like Sonic Adventure, the 2K football, and different things like that. It gives you a little of idea of what games that were going to be launched with the system. You know what I mean? And then on the other side, it has some other games too, like Virtual Fighter, NBA 2K, and the other one I can't see very well. You know what I mean? But on the side there, and like I said, I try to take good care of my boxes that I own my game systems on with. You know what I mean? So let's take the Sega Dreamcast out of its box, guys, and check it out in its entirety. My voice might sound a little different because I had a little bit of a cold. But let's take the Dreamcast out so I can show you guys the original Dreamcast, man. So this is the original Dreamcast. It has some heft to it too. It has some heft to it. It's pretty heavy, but that is the original Dreamcast. And as you can see, I take very good care of my systems. You know what I mean? And you know, opens up very well. No buttons sticking. Very clean inside, as you can see. Nice, crisp close. When you close it, click there. You know what I mean? That's the back, and you can see the Ethernet port in the back there with the modem on the side that Microsoft actually did, for Sega, man. The Windows CE. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's it on the side. Then on the back is just your regular ports and you know uh, the AV and out. Where you plug in the power source. And there's also something back here called this I think the serial or the I can't remember what the other one is for. I don't know if they were going to use it for something else or implement something else onto the Dreamcast. But that's it right there. And if you look at the bottom, it looked like there was something they were going to make that clicked onto it to stack on and make something with it. You know what I mean? And it also came where you can use a keyboard where you would play games like Typing of the Dead. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's the Dreamcast, guys, in its entirety. Really smooth, really cool, sleek um, design dream that Sega made for the Dreamcast. As you can see, it has four ports where you can play with friends, man. This is pretty awesome. I believe it was the first system to do 4 ports, if I'm correct. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's pretty awesome, guys. So that's what it looks like. And I also own the black version of this, which is the Sega sports version, and that's the one I actually have hooked up and I still play today. So let's see what else I have in here. I think I have the controller in here as well. Yes. So this is the original controller, guys, that came with the Dreamcast. You know, you guys pretty much know what a Sega Dreamcast controller looks like. The VMUs went inside here. Now, I don't have a VMU to show you because they're downstairs. I didn't think to bring it up. But this is the original Sega Dreamcast controller there. If you look at it, it kind of reminds you of some ways that they went and made the OG Xbox controllers and going forward with like 360 Xbox One Series X. You know, it just has that feel of it came from, which is the father of the controller, which is the Sega Dreamcast controller, because it kind of reminds me. It actually kind of reminds me of an Xbox controller, guys. They did a really good job with this controller. This controller was really good and comfortable in your hands, very responsive. You know, very, very nice. And as you could see, you had the VMU that did certain things with certain games. Like some of the Sonic games, you can feed your Cho inside there and different things like that. So they did a fantastic job. It was a great idea to do that and implement that into a Sega system like the Dreamcast. It was very ahead of its time. And it is still one of the best game systems ever made, and it is the god, and I mean the god of fighting games. It is. It is the god of fighting games, a lot of people say. The best version of fighting games, in my opinion, were on the Sega Dreamcast, okay? And we're going to have some games here that I'm going to show you guys that I collect for the Sega Dreamcast. But yeah, guys, that's the controller. I don't think I need to really show you, like, any plugs or anything, you know? It's just the plugs that go into the back of it. You know what I mean? Just the regular plug, that go into the back of it. You know what I mean? So this is the originals and things like that, you can actually get, I think, the red, green, and blue, like I guess the HD cables, I think, to give you a better picture for the Sega Dreamcast. I think you can actually get those. I'm thinking about getting a pair of those and comparing it. So, but yeah, that's the original cables right here, guys. And it came with a little book inside there. I don't know if I need to take it out. I think it's just a little instruction thing or something like that, like a little safety measure thing, which came inside there. But that's basically it, guys, when it comes to that. So, uh, and I think it came with a couple advertisement things in here. Let me see if I can find it and show you guys. Is this it? Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, what is this? Let me see. Just like the rating system card inside there, different things like that. Important notice regarding your Dreamcast, you know what I mean? That came inside there, different things like that, which was something you just keep inside there because it went with the system when you bought it. If you're a collector, you kind of keep everything that came with the system. You know what I mean? You don't just go and throw it in the garbage. You know what I mean? You should keep everything in its entirety if you decide someday to sell it, because there's a lot of people that are diehard collectors out there, and those pieces of paper mean something. So that can keep the price up, to be honest with you, if you're going to trade in a complete version of a Dreamcast. All right, guys. So let's get into some of the games that I own for the Sega Dreamcast, man. So the first game we're going to start out with, it's by Capcom. Capcom made a lot of great, fantastic games, guys, for the Sega Dreamcast. A lot of these games that they have became expensive. You know what I mean? Very expensive, some of them. One of them is Street Fighter Double Impact, which is a great fighting game for the Sega Dreamcast, man. It showed off really good graphical 2D fighting style, and they did it best on here. Now, the PlayStation 2 did have some of these games on there, But I've played the PlayStation 2 versions of some of these games, and they were just better on Dreamcast. You know what I mean? So Dreamcast was a 128-bit system back in the day. We don't really go by that anymore. But they had the best fighting games. They had the best fighting games hands down when it came to fighting games on the Dreamcast, man. Most of them were better than the PlayStation 2 games, just to be honest with you, man. So, and very vibrant colors. The sound chip in the Dreamcast is fantastic if you had it hooked up to a receiver and played it, like hearing the action hits, the music, the background sounds, and everything were good in a lot of these games, man. So that's Street Fighter Double Impact. That's one to collect for now. I don't know. It's probably went up in price. It could be in the $50, $60 range. Do your homework on it. I haven't did my homework on it lately, but I know there is some of them that's in here that are very expensive. So the next one up, which is a really good fighting game, another one by Capcom. A lot of people that still own a Dreamcast should own this game because it was one of the best that ever came out for the Dreamcast. Hours and hours of play, and that's Capcom versus SNK. Very pristine condition. You know what I mean? I keep everything up very, very well. You know what I mean? That's what it looks like, the inside of the game, the covers and everything like that. So, yeah, man, but this is another collaboration of SNK versus Capcom. It was really, really good. It still stands the test of time today. It's a great game to set your Dreamcast up and play with your friends and have your friends come over and play like the old school days, guys. It's very awesome. Now you can play over line with online with your friends on your Series S and X with certain games, but it's just something about being in that same room playing side by side with either your your girlfriend or your homie. I just miss those days, or even your kids. But this is another one that's probably went up in price. Definitely is Capcom versus SNK. Another one we got here, excuse me, guys. Street Fighter Alpha 3. Another good one for the Sega Dreamcast, man. They made this game actually on the Game Boy Advance. I actually have it. And to be honest with you, it's pretty decent on there, too. But this is another awesome game that came out for it. And I don't think it's that expensive. Maybe in the $30, $40 range, maybe. I'm not sure. It could have went up in price. But it's just in excellent condition, guys. You can almost see the shine as if it was brand new. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was another great Street Fighter game that came out for the Sega Dreamcast. Had a lot of fun playing this game, man. Me and my friend actually had a lot of fun, hours and hours, guys. But if you want to get into collecting for Dreamcast, try to look for some of those great fighting games. You know what I mean? You might be able to find some of them on the cheap. I found out, to be honest with you guys, now if you want to collect for these systems, a lot of these games, they try to sell you the disc, the disc, and if you want it complete, they charge a lot more. That's how they do it today. You know what I mean? So you can get it just a disc for maybe, let's say, $15, right? But if you want it complete in pristine condition like this, it can go up to $50, $60. You know what I mean? Because I know collectors are looking for that. You know what I'm saying? So do your homework on that, man. Another great one that, yes, like I said, a lot came out for Capcom. This is Dino Crisis. This has went up in price. This has went up in price. And back in the day, I found Dino Crisis. Actually, I found this at the exchange a long time ago, guys. And I only paid $10 for it. You know what I mean? But nowadays, these are very expensive. That's what it looks like inside there. But it has a really cool art cover, of the game. I'm showing it with the glare, but that is Dino Crisis for the Sega Dreamcast. Another great game that Capcom have brought out. So I think they're actually making another one. I'm not sure on that, guys. But another one by SNK actually, the King of Fighters. Excuse me, the King of Fighters, guys. Now, graphically, it was okay. All right. They did the best they could with it, but a lot of these SNK games for Dreamcast and even the Sega Saturn are very expensive now. I seen this going for like $75. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it was complete or not. I can't remember. But yeah, the King of Fighters, man, is another great game that came out on the Dreamcast. If you couldn't own a Neo Geo, guys, that costed over $1,000, and the Neo Geo games costed $200 to $300 a piece for the cartridges that were like this big, because it was the arcade board that you put in the system, man. The original arcade board in a casing shell. That's why it costed that much. So if you couldn't own a Neo Geo AES system and the games, the best version and the second uh, um, thing to do is have a Dreamcast and buy the SNK games for the Dreamcast, because it comes pretty goddamn close to some of the SNK games that they brought out on the Neo Geo and the Sega Dreamcast. So that's definitely the cheaper way to play those games. If you have the money, hats off to you, man. But you're going to spend over probably $3,000-$4,000 just to own the Neo Geo and a few games. So that's how expensive that system is, because it is a boss system, man. It was an in-home arcade system. So, but I get to enjoy those games on my Dreamcast because it's just as good in my opinion. Now this next one was a very, very good game, a beloved game that I liked. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry for that. I had a very important phone call. So let's get through the rest of these games. All right, now a good game that was very good for the Sega Dreamcast system back in the day, a very beloved game that's still great to play today when you want to break out your old Dreamcast, is Zombies Revenge. This is a great game that came out for the Sega Dreamcast, guys. This game has definitely went up in price. I don't want to say how much because I don't know, but I know it's worth more than what you pay for it retail price when it came out. But it is a very great zombie game and very sought after game complete. This is a very good game. Now, I got this game pretty goddamn cheap a long time ago, but it even came with a little card in it. It says play to win. Check that out. It actually came in it with the game. So it's in its entirety. You know what I mean? But this is Zombies Revenge. It was a great game. It is still, this is what I mean. They need to bring back these games. Phil, Spencer, sir, if you hear me, if you can somehow get like a Dreamcast retro pack to put on the Xbox Series S and X for a good price, that would be awesome. So, T, Reaper, brother, tell Phil if he could get a Dreamcast pack, man, a value pack to put on the Xbox Series S and X, man, that would be awesome. But this is a great game, guys. Zombies Revenge. Very cool artwork and cover. A little bit of detail in the back and the description about the game. This is another great game to get, guys. Zombies Revenge. Next one we got here is another one by Capcom. This game is expensive. It came out on other systems, but it looked better and played better on the Dreamcast, and that is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I beat this game on there, and it is a pretty penny today. And it is in very excellent condition. And you can get the Resident Evils, the newer ones for the newer systems. But it's highly collectible because it was on the Sega Dreamcast. So that is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Another great game, guys. Another awesome and strange fighting game that came out for the system is called Plasma Sword. This is another one that came out. This is by Capcom, I believe. Is this Capcom? Yes, this is Capcom. It's a very strange, really cool fighting game. Very different, you know what I mean? Kind of like JoJo Bizarre. Now, I don't own JoJo's Bizarre on the Dreamcast. That game is expensive. That game is, I've seen it for over $200. one time. But this is Plasma Sword. This is a little bit more affordable. Now it's probably in the probably $80 to $90 range. You know, maybe 75. I'm not sure. But it's another good fighting game that people forgot about that came out for the Dreamcast called Plasma Sword. Check it out. Now, this is another one by Capcom. This is one of my most expensive games ever to own for the Dreamcast. This game is I seen it for over $200. I don't know how much it goes for today. It could be higher. I don't know. They haven't remade this game yet. You know what I mean? And it is Project Justice. This is a very, very expensive Dreamcast game. And I got it at GameStop back in the day. I think it was even not even called GameStop then. It might have been Babbage's or I can't remember. But this is when Dreamcast went out and they were getting and liquidating the games. I paid $25 for it back then. This game is well over worth over $100. I think 200 to 280, maybe more. But Project Justice is one of the gems, definitely, for this Sega Dreamcast, guys. So if you can get your hands on this fighting gem in its complete condition, man, that would be awesome because this is in flawless condition. I've played hours and hours of this game, guys. Project Justice, man. Very awesome game that came out for the Sega Dreamcast, guys. This one here I found for 10 goddamn dollars in the shrink wrap at Pittsburgh Comic Con, right? $10. And he had like 5 or 6 of them on his table. Now this game is worth over $100. And this is called The Ring, the Terrorist Realms. $10. But now when you look up this game, it's well worth over $10. I've seen it for over $100. This is called The Ring. The Ring, Terror's Realm. This is a very strange game. Kind of like Alone in the Dark, like you see there. It might remind you of that. You know what I mean? But this is a very expensive game now. Very weird, but I like horror games like that, man. That's right up my genre. But I got it for a whopping $10 in the shrink wrap. I should have bought a second one just to keep up, just in case, but I didn't. So that is, yeah, that is The Ring. So if you guys find it, man, that's awesome. This is another great one. It's been in arcades. I don't think it's that much right now, but that is House of the Dead 2. Very awesome game. It's been remade on other systems, the Wii, different other game systems like that. You know what I mean? But it is House of the Dead 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. You could probably find it for about $30, $35. I don't know if the prices went up on this, but it's another great game and one of my all-time favorites for the Sega Dreamcast. This is another expensive game. Okay? Very, very expensive. This is by Age Tech, and I believe SNK. Yeah. And it is called Last Blade 2, Heart of the Samurai. Some people say this is Samurai Showdown on crack. This is a very awesome game. This is a very expensive game. It's over $100 if you want to buy this complete. But it is The Last Samurai 2. Very awesome game. Pretty decent graphics. Really good game to own for the Dreamcast. If you want to own these games on your Neo Geo, you're going to pay a hell of a lot more than what I paid for this, man. Because back then, like I told you, when they were liquidating at the time, I got this for around $20 also, but it is way worth that today. So that is Last Blade 2. Another great one, which you can get back compat, is called Fatal Fury: Mark of the Wolf. This is also up in price. I've seen it for $85. Another great game that came out for the Sega Dreamcast. This is another SNK game. Very good condition. You know what I mean? Very awesome fighting game. These are games like Hebot loves these kind of fighting games. But yeah, man, that's for the Dreamcast, guys. Very awesome. Well worth to own if you even want to own it digitally. The next one we got here is King of Fighters Evolution. King of Fighters Evolution. This is probably up there in the probably $60, $70 range. I'm not sure. Depends on where you get it. But you got to remember, if you're just getting that disc, and you see, oh man, this game's only $20. You're just getting that disc. You're not getting it complete. You know what I mean? And you better hope that disc is not scratched or have any wears and tears on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is up there in price too. And this is also another great fighting game that came out on the God system of fighting games, the Sega Dreamcast. Now, the last one I want to show you guys here is called Heavy Metal. It's called Heavy Metal uh, Neo Matrix or Geo Matrix. So that's another one I picked up, man, a while ago. It's kind of like a fighting game. You know what I mean? Kind of reminds you of, I can't think of the game right now that everybody likes. But it's pretty cool. This is called Heavy Metal. This is probably up in price. I'm not going to say very expensive, maybe $50. But that is Heavy Metal for the Sega Dreamcast, guys. So that is it for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video of Dreamcast days with me. You know what I mean? It's an awesome system, guys, to collect for. You can probably find a system at your local exchange for $85. You know, $85 to $90, almost probably $100. You know what I mean? But if you want to collect for the Sega Dreamcast, if you do some really good searching, you might be able to find a system for maybe $60 or $70, you know, and make sure it works. But the hardest part for collecting for the Dreamcast is not buying the system, it's buying the games. All right? Peace and love, guys. Xbox for life. We don't die, we multiply. Peace.